So we're here in the mountains of West Virginia in a little tiny town called Green Bank, which has become somewhat famous not only because of this giant telescope you see in the background, but because this is part of the National Quiet Zone. Pretty much the only place in the country where you can be somewhat assured that you're not going to be bombarded with EMF. There's no cell phone towers here, Wi-Fi signals are not allowed by law, and it's actually become a place that at least several dozen people have moved to find refuge from the health issues and the problems they've had from being bombarded by EMF, again from Wi-Fi, cell phones, what have you. But it's also interesting because of this telescope is part of the SETI project, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, and it was the site of a secret society back in the 60s and 70s that was headed by John Lilly, the MKUltra tied researcher who worked for National Institutes of Mental Health and who became a huge counterculture figure because he spent countless hours in a sensory deprivation chamber floating and doing drugs like LSD and ketamine and pioneering communication with dolphins. He was the first one to try to communicate intelligently with them. He had a project in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands where they actually tried to train dolphins to speak English, and because they're so intelligent, quite possibly more intelligent than humans, it seemed like it was going to work. They were really limited mainly by the physical limitations of their blowhole, but basically they seemed capable. And Carl Sagan and Professor Drake and other people involved in astronomy were really interested in that as they raised the questions of, is there life out there, and if so, who's going to be the first to communicate with them and what's the message going to be? And they ended up recording all these records, and they sent special devices into space with the intention that hopefully any type of creature out there, any type of living being would be able to interpret them and understand the message that was sent. But in doing so, John Lilly, working here for a time, founded the Order of the Dolphin, and they had an insignia and a special handshake and secret society communications between himself, Sagan, Drake, and a handful of others. And supposedly that fell off, but you never really know. In fact, you don't know really what did happen. John Lilly is such a fascinating figure, and for some he's a hero, for others he's part of government secret research, and we don't know how far he went. He claimed to have more ethics than many of the other MKUltra researchers. He supposedly refused to classify his research and conduct research in secret. But again, founder of a secret society, who knows if that was honest? Lots of scientists claim that they wouldn't do things for the CIA and other secret branches of the government, and we don't really know how far that stuff went. We never will. But those who've done the research know that LSD and counterculture was started by the CIA and propagated by CIA assets and officers like Gregory Bateson, like the author Aldous Huxley, and like John Lilly. I think it's very fascinating, and I wonder what secrets these hills have for a very lesser, very little known secret society chapter from our larger and very secretive government.